The first item on tonight's agenda, which was continued from the April 16th, 2026 meeting, is appeal number 3251. The applicant, Philip Johnson, property located at 215 West Lancaster Avenue in zoned Wayne Business District. Applicant requests a variance from section 280-53.9 to allow electric vehicle charging stations. Variance from 280 5312 B in parens. The proposed project will result in the loss of 3 existing off-street parking spaces. Further, a plan indicate that 4 existing off-street parking spaces will be converted to exclusive use by EV charging vehicles. As a result, the number of off-street parking spaces for the principal retail use has been reduced by 7. A variance from 280-53.14 requires that the mechanical/electrical equipment mounted on the ground shall be located in the rear of the building and screened from view. The proposed location is in violation of these provisions. Is the applicant here? Please step forward and be sworn in. Anybody who's going to testify has to be sworn in, I should say.
I am not an attorney, but we will probably both be speaking. Philip Jaminet, J-A-M-I-N-E-T.
Make sure you speak into the microphone.
I'm sorry, Philip Jaminet, J-A-M-I-N-E-T. Yes.
Pete Iduciani, it's I-U-D-I-C-I-A-N-I.
Good evening. My name is Philip Jaminet. I am Director of Engineering here at ALS Services. ALS Services is the design build contractor for this project. We are here on behalf of Electrify America, Wawa, and the property owner. Our project consists of installing 4 new electric vehicle high-powered fast charging stations at the existing Wawa location. And we are here, as you stated before, to seek 3 variances for the installation of these vehicles, which is the permitted use of the vehicle, of the electric vehicle charging stations, as well as the reduction of the parking and the screening of the equipment. Shall we address each one of these individually, or do you kind of want me to go through all 3 of them? Okay. Okay, so as I stated before, we're going to install 2 dual charger 400 kW units for electric vehicle charging in the existing Wawa parking lot. I don't know. Do you guys have the plans in front of you? How do we get to it? Here we go.
The new one that I just emailed to him. Where did that one go? Where did that other set of plans go that I just next to?
So this is that set you just sent me.
There we go. Okay, so this is the location. We intend on installing the charging locations to the east side of the parking lot. And you can see in the, what is the southwest, or I'm sorry, west side, the southwest corner is where we intend on putting the new utility transformer and the associated equipment to feed the electric vehicle charging equipment. So the charging locations would be here, and this is the equipment for the charging equipment. So as you can see, as a result of needing the additional space for the equipment and the charging equipment, we did reduce some stalls. I think the good news here is that we are still above the threshold for the minimum amount of parking needed for this space. I believe the way we calculated was, if I go north here, For a retail parking space, the required amount was 26 stalls. We currently have 33 stalls, so with the reduction of 7, we are still at the 26. So we hope that that will be amenable to the board here that for the variance in the parking count. Additionally, to add some context to that, is there is an agreement with the adjacent property owner for overflow parking here in these 8 stalls to help, some of that relief. We have documents to show that particular agreement between the adjacent property owner. Yeah, you want to give that to him?
Is that in your packet?
No, we brought it with us here today.
Has the lease agreement between the property owner and Wawa?
We need 2 of these. Okay. Yeah, where's the,
Oh, okay.
is the file, or the files are in this? We'll get them later.
You're gonna give us new person.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, please.
Sure. So we feel we're comfortable that we're meeting the minimum threshold for the parking count, and we hope that we can get the variance for the reduction of stalls here. The other 2 items, as it relates to the permitted use of the electric vehicle charging stations, this particular site, EA and Electrify America and Wawa have a strategic partnership to electrify a lot of Wawa's locations. This is a prime location for them. There's good traffic here. They feel like this is a really good spot for both of them. Additionally, there is federal funding supporting this project that makes the economics better for everybody involved. And then regarding the equipment screening, this will be a little bit tough for us. I think we can screen in the existing location, but there really is not a better location to put the stalls or the charging equipment. There's a fire lane in the back of the store. So there's no additional parking that we can gather back there, and we don't feel there's enough space in those 6 stalls to the north, directly adjacent to the building there, to accommodate both the charging equipment and the supporting electrical equipment. So we hope to receive a variance to locate the equipment there. Additionally, there is an existing utility transformer for the store right next to that one that is screened. So we hope we can kind of follow that lead. Any questions related to maybe what I think the parking reduction, it kind of speaks for itself. We are asking for some leniency on the rules on the equipment because we can't really locate it at the rear of the building. We do feel we can screen it in this location appropriately. And then obviously we're seeking the permitted use as an accessory use to the primary retail store.
Well, in a sense, you're creating the hardship yourself by putting in the charging units, right? If you didn't put the charging units in, you wouldn't have to get relief, zoning relief in the form of a variance. Isn't that correct?
Correct. Please keep in mind that Wawa is committed to not make these EV charging only. So if you do come to the store and you aren't necessarily charging, if that's an open spot, you're more than welcome to park there.
Then really, you're only losing the transformers.
Correct. There would actually be an additional reduction because of the way the charging equipment works. We would lose a stall based upon the configuration of the new EV charging. So you would lose at least that 1 stall plus the additional stall from the equipment.
Mr. Chairman.
You mentioned something about a national program. To your knowledge, is there a plan to put EV stations in the Wawa that's going up further east on Lancaster Avenue?
At this moment, no, not that I am aware of.
Could you scroll up on this map?
Sure.
A little bit?
And Mr. Chairman, before we get too far along, can we mark the exhibits?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do that. You should have your exhibits marked. So A, B, C, D? No, you haven't done that? So we have your packet, which I think was submitted previously.
Correct.
Because this was continued from an April hearing date, I believe.
Correct.
We can mark that collectively A. That would be your application,
Okay.
your appeal application, and also your drawings. We also have the lease. We'll make that B. And what's up on the screen, is that in the packet?
I believe it is.
So I guess we're covered. So go through the formality of moving your exhibits into evidence, please. Do you move your exhibits into evidence?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Except without objection. Okay.
Also, I do have a question since we're regarding the documentation. Do you have a copy of the deed as well? I believe that was a matter that was brought up last time.
Yeah, so I believe we did provide you with a letter of authorization that was signed by the property owner. Did we end up getting any lease agreement from?
We did one.
I'm referring to the deed on the property itself.
I do not think we brought
It's
the
the same
deed.
owners as the other Wawa, so I think we got over that hurdle at the last hearing.
Did we?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I apologize. I would have brought that.
Okay.
I thought we had that resolved, but thanks.
The original packet showed these in a different location, so this drawing supersedes that?
The original packet wasn't as blown up. It was cut off. It was very poor. That was one of the things we discussed last time, and that's why we wanted to update the overall site plan to get a better view of how it would fit in with the whole property.
Well, I
Yeah.
agree, but that drawing was clear to me at least that you were going to put the chargers along the back of the building.
I am not aware of that. We have always been putting these charges in this corner location.
No.
If you could bring up
This one here?
yeah, and go down to the,
You remember that?
If you can identify which plan this is, however it's identified.
I just want to get the right thing.
I
in the
completely
record.
agree. I don't want any confusion on this. So what you're looking at is what you would have seen originally. This is the same location. You're just looking at a zoomed-in view. We provided an additional exhibit to give some additional context to what we were doing here. It gives a more zoomed-out view, and you can kind of see it's still in the same spot, but now you get some context to what the rest of the site looks like with this plan. I will be
So
honest.
what you're relying on tonight is what appears to be, or it's titled Overall Site Plan, page C1, is that correct?
Correct.
Is there a date on it or anything else that we can just refer to identify it?
Oh, let's see,
I don't know if you can scroll around
It's
on it.
like 512.
Okay, I couldn't see it from here, thank you.
yeah, my eyes won't let me see
No,
that
just so
either.
we know what we're relying on for tonight's
Yes.
hearing.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we thought it was important to show the overall site plan so you can see there isn't much opportunity anywhere else on the site. And there, even though you can see cars parked back there, there is clearly a fire lane and there's no parking allowed back there.
Also, in the original application, you had discussed that the charger spots would be exclusive to electric vehicles. And I just want to be clear that that's no longer true.
That is correct. It is no longer true. These will not be labeled EV parking only.
So I want to clarify some of the numbers that we see on the top right here. If you could scroll up a little bit.
Certainly.
So it says that the required stall count is 26 and that the existing stall count is 33. Does that include the 8 overflow?
It does not. The 33, we did not include the overflow parking because it's on somebody else's property, so we didn't think that would add to the tally.
So then if you're only removing 3 parking spaces,
If you are going to count the EV charging stalls as parking spaces, then yes, that would be correct. We'd only be reducing it 3.
so then you wouldn't need any variance with regards to the parking spaces.
we'd be happy to not have a variance there. I was under the impression that any reduction or any change in the parking count would require a variance, but I could just be misunderstanding that.
Your calculation is the way you've calculated, you're complying with the code in 26?
Yes.
The township have a position on this?
Needs mics. So really, the only thing we're addressing is the electrical side of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the record that we have this overflow parking and the fact that the EV parking spaces are not exclusive for those who are charging their automobiles. So yes, the count appears to be correct now, and that variance would not be needed on parking. So that leaves the electrical piece to be decided.
Did you, I asked you the last time if you looked into undergrounding the transformer.
If, one, we did reach out to the utility company, they weren't really willing to entertain that. So we're not sure it's even possible, and I would say even if it was possible, it'll make the site financially not viable, and EA and Wawa won't pursue it.
Can you therefore walk me through, sorry if this has been addressed in a previous meeting, but
Sure.
if you're asking for a variance here, well, to demonstrate a hardship, so why is it necessary for that transformer box to be right there?
Okay, so the further that transformer gets away from the charging equipment, the costs go up exponentially due to the copper that's needed to power the chargers. Additionally, there's really nowhere else for us to put it. In our correspondence and coordination with the utility company, this was the location that they chose, and it worked for all parties. And I think if you're asking for a hardship, it would be financial.
Well, the site constraints are the hardship.
True, true.
So it's prohibitively expensive?
I would say, yeah. If we have to move that transformer to the back of the lot, it will probably kill the site.
It'll kill the site?
Well, they won't build the chargers here. It won't be financially viable.
Okay.
Yeah, these, just for kind of your information, these particular installations take a large capital investment. This particular project does have some federal funding tied to it to help that capital expense. But they really are expending quite a bit of capital, and it's a very long return on investment with the electric vehicle charging.
Who would be expending the capital? Who's they?
EA, Electrify America.
Okay. And they usually so it's not even from the owner isn't paying for this then, are they?
Correct.
So it's financially a hardship, not from the owner, but just from the electrical charging company.
Correct, correct.
Oh, interesting, okay.
And you said before there's an existing smaller transformer on the same spot?
It's a little bit smaller, but it actually sits right in this corner right here, right behind the sign. I'm sorry, right behind the sign. So it kind of sits right here, and there's a few smaller arborvitae that cover it. It's a little bit smaller than ours, but almost about the same size.
So there is an existing non-conforming use that's different than this, but was placed there for presumably similar reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And this new transformer, you said, would be screened in?
We will provide whatever screening you guys need us to provide. There is some shrubbery there along Lancaster Avenue right now. We could probably add some screening. We have to shift things around a little bit, but maybe if you want additional screening beyond the Lancaster, we could try to get it in there.
What type of screening would that be?
It would be some type of landscaping. I don't think we intended on a fence or anything like that.
Well, looking at the photographs that are part of your package, it appears, I'm looking at the photograph that shows the back of a truck, a box truck it appears, and there's a fence in the corner. Is that where the present electrical
Let me go back.
is located? behind that, looks like a picket fence.
Oh, I see, you're trying to find the,
We were showing the back of the store, how the fire lane, there wasn't much room to move it back there.
Well, that's my question is that where it's presently located?
no, it's in the front corner of these pictures. Actually, there it is right there. You can see it right there.
Oh, I see.
That's right on the corner of Lancaster.
Got it. And that's right, it's along Banbury, so there's a residence on the other side of that, right?
And the new transformer would be similar in size?
It'd be a very similar setup to what you're seeing right there. There would be one additional piece of equipment, which is our protection of the electric vehicle chargers. I believe that piece of equipment's roughly 36 inches by 18 inches. It's one of our smaller units.
Just-
Chairman, that's at the very corner, so that's across the street from what used to be a bank, I don't even know if it's still vacant.
Right.
That's catty-cornered from the AT&T building. I'm sorry, that's catty-corner from the Verizon or AT&T building across the street.
And then there would be a transformer in addition to this one, correct?
Correct.
It would be in the parking spot.
Correct.
So I'm clear with this picture.
You are correct.
Thank you.
You're aware that this area floods?
Not particularly wary. I don't think we're in necessarily a floodplain or anything like that, but
No, it's not a floodplain, it's the confluence of all the houses, storm sewers, and that's one of the weak areas.
I will say that in almost all of our cases, the electric vehicle charging equipment sits 4 to 6 inches above grade. Put it on a pad just to keep it from sitting flush with the ground.
And this
And,
area is elevated too, isn't it?
I'm sorry, what was that?
This area where you're talking about putting it is somewhat elevated.
I can't say that it is. I actually think it's probably a little bit de-elevated from the street level.
It's on grade.
Yeah, we could also, if you wanted to, let me go back to the other exhibit. If there was a concern about flooding or water, we could curb this area in.
I just recommend when you're carrying on with the project, discuss it with the township engineer.
Absolutely, thank you.
Any further questions by the board? Okay. We've moved into the exhibits. Public comment? Okay, seeing no hands go up for public comment, I'll call for a motion.
I'd like to move that we grant a variance from 280-5314 for mechanical electrical equipment mounted on the ground. Should be in the rear of the building. We're going to move it to the front. In accordance with the testimony here tonight in the exhibits.
Second.
Any board discussion?
Yes, any board discussion?
So where I'm getting hung on this one is regarding just the actual legal standard for meeting a variance here and how this is not a self-inflicted hardship. And also regarding that, the other, that there are certain physical circumstances or characteristics with this property that are prohibitive in some financial aspect or other reason. So given the legal standards here, I would love to see more electric car charging here. I'm not opposed to that whatsoever, but I think just given this current plan in front of us, I can't be in favor of it.
Yeah, I have to say, I feel the same way. I just don't see any hardship. Whatever hardship is here is at best self-created because it functions as a store selling food and a quickie mart sort of operation. It's been like that for years and years. This seems to me to be a project that simply doesn't satisfy the needs or the requirements for a variance. And while it may be in its own way a good project, it's not a good location because you can't get a variance because there's no hardship. I mean, this place does a land office business during the day. I mean, I see the cars going in and out. On occasions, I go in there to get something. They're doing a land office business. So the business it does very well at this location. I understand that Wawa may be committed to this program, but and the owners of Wawa may be committed to this program and may be seeking some sort of federal funds or getting federal funds to underwrite it. But the fact of the matter is, it still has to pass muster in the zoning issues, and it's not, because I don't see a hardship.
I mean, I think one thing that made me at least hesitate with whether there's a hardship or not is the fact there is an existing transformer that is in the front. So, you know, presumably that ended up there because of the same physical restraints on the property that led to this transformer being proposed in the front. Whether, you know, that's a self-imposed hardship or not, I think kind of depends on PECO, because obviously PECO is not the owner of this property, and they are, to some degree, a physical constraint with where things can go on the property. So I think that does lend, you know, some credence to there being a physical obstacle with regards to the unique location of the property, and that they are kind of constrained by PECO. But I do agree it's not the clearest case for variance.
On a variance situation such as this, the store can be used. It's not as if it's reduced to having no value at all or diminished value because it doesn't have charging stations. I mean, it's really what it boils down to. It really doesn't fit into any of the definitions of the hardship that's required to justify a variance under the circumstances. I'm going to call the vote. Zach?
Nay.
Nay?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you to read this one because I am. Next one? Yeah, read the next one, okay?
Next, we have Appeal 3264, the applicant, Fawad Rafi, properly located at 701 Camp Woods Road, zoned R1. It's a corner lot at Sproul and Camp Woods, and they would like
It's not, I'm waiting on the part, so it'll be.
to construct additional residence, and it will reduce the nonconformity, the existing nonconformity from 58 feet to 54 on Sproul and 52 to 50 feet on Camp Woods. The applicant is seeking variance from section 280-15C of the code relating to minimum front yard setback or other such relief consistent with the plans and testimony presented tonight.
Then I can expand it. Evening, Nick Canelli representing the applicant on this
evening.
matter. This is a corner lot on the corner of Camp Woods and Sproul Road, immediately across the street from Radnor Valley Country Club, as you see on A4, as you see on A3, which is an aerial of the entire site. The site is here where the arrow is. Radnor Valley is on this side. About a block further down the street is Notre Dame Academy, and then further down is Overbrook Country Club. We've zoomed in here. Again, we'll have the applicant testify to all this. We've zoomed in here on A4, showing the property where the setback, the violation of the current setback is non-conforming as to Sproul Road. You'll see here that here's Camp Woods. Sproul comes in on an angle on the property, causing the property to be a triangular type shape, which is really the reason for the hardship. So what is being proposed, as I mentioned, there's nonconformity here, there's nonconformity here, there's slight additions being placed here of about a couple feet, increasing the nonconformity by a couple feet in this area and in this area, as you can see on the other plans. A7 which shows the nonconformity, the requirement. This one is the area of nonconformity here, 56.5, and we'll see it on the plans as we go on. And let me see if I can go down here. The township did ask us to submit a revised plan to clarify the setbacks, and we did that as is indicated on A9, and I'll go over that and the dimensions that we have as well. So,
Yes, I do. Fawad Rafi. It's Fawad it's Rafi.
oh, keep that. Yeah, Fawad, you're the owner of the property with your wife,
Yes.
and who do you reside there with?
Myself, my wife, and 3 kids.
And I'm going to show you what's been marked as A2, and you purchased the property in 2008.
That's correct.
Is that right? In the application, what you would like to do is extend the existing nonconformity regarding the front yard setback.
That's correct.
And the home was built approximately when, do you know?
In 1972.
And what's the square footage of the home? Do you know the net square, would it be, according to the county website, 2,298 square feet livable space?
That sounds about right, yes.
Currently, you have a garage on the property?
I have 2 garages, yes.
Okay.
2-car garage.
A 2-car garage. And what you're looking for is to add an existing garage, correct, or existing car space, not a garage, but an existing space for a
Yes.
car?
That's correct.
And then also increase some living area. Can you tell the board why you need this relief?
Firstly, my kids have grown older, so they need more space. We have 4 bedrooms upstairs, so those rooms have become too small for the kids as they go into college and high school. Also, I have family who come visit me every summer, so we have to then ask the kids to share the rooms. And my parents say they're growing old, so they may need to have a room on the first floor with no stairs. So if you add some more rooms in the backyard, so 1 bedroom on the first floor, and a 2nd bedroom on top of that on the 2nd floor. That'll help us live the house with more space and cause no issues to my parents. They can live here long term as well.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as A3 here, and you heard my opening as to the location of the property. Was that accurate, what I stated regarding location of the property? As you can see here on A3, right here, or over there on the screen.
Yes.
And then A4, that's a close-up aerial, again, showing Radnor Valley Country Club across the street, your property, and how Sproul Road comes in on angle on your property.
That's correct.
And A5, would this be the intersection of Sproul and Camp Woods?
Yes.
And that's your property located in this area here?
Yes.
Yes, where the stop sign is. And A6, would this be a view of your property from Sproul Road?
Yes.
And then A7, I'll show you what's been marked as A7, and this is the plan for the property. Correct?
That's correct.
right? And actually, that's been replaced at the request of the township by a 9. Kevin, when he was here, asked to look at the fact of the matter was that you'll see that we had a 50-foot setback in this. 60 feet is required. You see the building envelope here. In this area, it was 50 feet. And then in the area, Kevin also asked us to measure from this area here, which was the proposed porch that is being installed, and that was 50 feet 2 inches from Sproul Road, which is still a little further than the proposed garage, which was 50 feet. The existing setback in that area was 52.6 feet. So in effect, we're asking for an additional 2.5-foot encroachment in this area here from what is existing nonconformity. There is also a request, and remember Sproul Road comes around like this. There was also a request to measure from the steps here, proposed steps, which was 54.3 feet, when the existing was 56.6 feet. So again, we're approximately increasing the nonconformity by approximately 2 feet as you swing Sproul Road around in that area. Now, we
Let me
did,
ask a question before I forget.
Sure.
How did the nonconformity come into existence if the home was built
yeah, the home was built in
1972?
1972.
72?
Yeah,
So
it was
it's
a
just
while
before
ago.
the code?
It was just before the code. I believe the code changed maybe right after that, actually.
Okay, thanks.
And we still have the same code. 60 years, almost 60 years later. But which brings many cases before this board because of that. But yeah, that's true. On Thursday nights, at least. So on Camp Woods, we're not requiring any relief from Camp Woods Road, correct? On
That's
storage
correct, yes.
setback. And A8, and this is a site plan prepared by, or a floor plan prepared by Nick Batey, who's actually present here this evening if questions are needed. And does this accurately represent your floor plan and the elevation? The last couple of pages of that shows your rear elevation, your right side elevation. Here, let me pull that up.
Yes, it does.
Here's your rear elevation as shown on the, let's see if I can
That's correct.
pull it up.
Mr. Keneally, the elevations are part of which exhibit?
It is A8.
8, okay, thank you.
Front elevation's pretty much unchanged. Here's the rear elevation. Trying to scroll to it. There you go. So it's very consistent with the current look of the home?
That's
where the-
correct.
Where the addition's going to be going?
That's correct.
And then, again, the addition, the front elevation, pretty much remains the same as to that.
Yes.
What type of facade would it be?
It'd probably be stucco.
Stucco?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you spoken to your neighbors regarding it?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I have spoken to my neighbor, Mr. Steve and Barbara Kim. They're 705 Campwoods. Steve, Barbara and Steve Kim in 705 Campwoods. Yes. So they are our neighbor to the left. I dropped off the plan in their mailbox, and I talked to them on Monday evening and explained to them what our plan is. So they do not express any concern about the additions, as long as we make sure the construction does not damage the plants they have in the front yard with all the dust from the construction.
The Kims are right here in this area here, you'll see. And really, the request for relief is on this side of the property.
Correct. And then I could not talk to my neighbor in front in 700 Campwoods, but I left a copy of the plan in their mailbox.
Thank you. That's all I would have. I'd ask the exhibits to be made part of the record, please.
Without objection.
Nick, I do just have one clarification question just regarding the ask. So you're saying that there's no ask for relief on Camp Woods Road?
Correct.
Which is on the, and why is that again, if you could explain that to me?
Yeah, matter of fact, I am looking here. Right, because it's not increasing the nonconformity. Let me see if I can. I may stand corrected there.
Right, because I was just reading
Yeah,
in the
existing.
application.
Yeah, right, I'm looking, the way this road comes around, this is Camp Woods. So the existing, the requirement's 60 feet. Camp Woods is 52 and a half feet, so we do need relief there, approximately 2 feet, 2.5 feet in this area here, where the proposed, is that proposed porch, is that on Sproul, considered Sproul, or is that Camp Woods right here? Camp Woods. That's Camp Woods, okay. So there, I'm sorry, there is relief requested there on Camp Woods as well. I'm in error when I mentioned there wasn't. Because the garage is here, which is 50, the current is 52 feet 6 inches. So we would be increasing the nonconformity by 2.5 feet.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. Appreciate it, Nick.
I'm sorry
Sorry.
to misstate that. And then just to clarify, on Sproul, you'll see that the closest point because of the proposed steps is 54.3 feet. The existing appears to be 58.7 feet. And really the reason for the small area here where the proposed steps are located is where the relief is being requested in that area.
Those steps are only going to the basement.
And those, yeah, they're going into the basement, but they're down, are they below ground? You gotta, yeah, you gotta come up if you're gonna, I'm sorry.
My name is Nicholas.
Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
State your full name and spell it, please.
My name is Nicholas Beteg. Last name is spelled B-E-T-E-G-H.
Nick, what's your profession first?
I'm an architect,
You're registered in Pennsylvania?
registered in Pennsylvania, correct?
And we were discussing those steps, proposed steps.
Yeah, those proposed steps is really, you see it on the plan, but it's really below grade because it's steps that go down to the basement. It's only a retaining wall that's fading away. The land is fading away, so you really don't see anything above grade at that corner. So visually now you see it, but if you stand on the street or you stand on the side yard, on the side of Sproul Road, you would never see the steps or anything because it's going down to the basement. It's a secondary means of egress for their basement level because right now there's only the main stairs inside the house. And they were concerned that if there was a fire in the house someplace and somebody's down the basement and they can't go up the steps, they will be stuck. So it's that, those stairs are basically for safety reasons.
Okay. And Nick, if we can here, if you look at the plan at that point right there,
Yeah.
as showing the distance as being 58.7 feet. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Edge of the house, and all you're doing really is just squaring off the house with the addition,
Yeah,
and that addition at the closest point is 55.1 feet, correct?
yes,
Down in this area. But really, all you're doing is just squaring off and extending the addition, and the reason for the impingement is the way Sproul Road cuts into the property.
correct.
Well, Nick, then, from with the information that the steps that we see there are going down and not up, where do you measure that nonconformity from? Is it still 54 point?
Yeah, the 54.3, that was, those steps are being installed. So that's not the that is a proposed distance. The 54.3 is being proposed. The current nonconformity in this area is
58.7.
58.7. And it looks like you measured it from an AC unit and an air conditioning unit there. You've measured it from too at 56.6 in this right here.
Yeah, that's an air conditioning compressor.
And that's existing.
That's existing, correct.
But because the steps are going underground, are they,
Correct, they're going underground.
you don't,
I don't think,
you're not increasing the,
yeah, I don't think anything underground is
It's almost like a driveway, you know, it's no different than that.
go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I'm just saying in the past, anything that was underground, we weren't measuring as a setback. So if something was underground, that didn't violate a setback.
Okay. Okay. But just to be clear, for the record, you're still requesting the relief
Yeah.
that you have down here, 50.
55.1
Got
right
it.
here.
Okay.
And that would be from 58.7 to 55.1. And then, actually, I mentioned there's another area here that is 56.6, and that's the air conditioning condenser, but that's probably an accessory structure. I don't think that's considered a part of the house.
Were you able to, regarding the other requested relief, able to discuss the necessity of the proposed porch as well too, since that'll be increasing the nonconformity?
Sure. Do one of you want to discuss the porch?
The front entrance porch is pretty much rebuilding the existing one that's there, slightly wider, but there's one existing there already.
Is that, that's not enclosed, correct?
It's not enclosed.
So it's just the,
It's open, just a roof portico with two columns.
And
Is
so
the
this
one at front elevation can see that.
And this would be enclosed, is what you're?
No, it would
or
not be
This
enclosed.
would still be open
Still
as
be
well,
open.
2 columns?
Yep.
Okay. So regarding the necessity of it, is it for aesthetic purposes? Is it functionality?
Mostly functionality. If somebody comes to the front door in pouring rain or something, they're underneath a small roof, basically.
Thank you.
Plus, you know, it gives a little character to the house, adds a little character.
Board have any further questions? Is there any public comment? I don't see any public comment. I'll call for the vote. I mean the motion, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve appeal number 3264 regarding the construction of an addition to the residence at 701 Camp Woods Road regarding increase in nonconformity by reducing the setback from 58.7 feet to 54.3 feet on Sproul Road, and also a variance regarding, relief regarding reducing the setback granting relief for 52.6 feet to 50 feet on Camp Woods Road in accordance with the testimony and evidence presented.
Second.
I'm in favor.
Yeah, I'm in favor too, because this is, I mean, it's de minimis, and besides, when the zoning changed, I mean, it became non-conforming to some extent because of that change, and I think that's sufficient hardship for a small, relatively, very, very small, almost de minimis request for a variance in setbacks.
I agree. I'm in favor as well.
I'm in favor also.
Okay, let me call the vote.
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now this is, thank you. Make sure we got everything here.
You want me to read it? You got it?
Yeah, here.
So you get
Yeah, why don't you,
Our next appeal is 3265. The applicant, Lori Tierney McCann and Thomas McCann, property located at 645 Radnor Valley Drive, zoned R1, seeks the variance from 280-15 of the code to permit a full kitchen in an in-law suite. Applicant agrees to condition restrictions to use and to file a deed restriction limiting its use for in-laws, relatives, and friends. It will not be income producing. In the alternative, applicant requests such other release consistent with the exhibits and testimony presented.
there is a small housekeeping matter that we have to deal with, Nick, regarding the advertisement.
Yeah, the application lists the right section, and the application also states the request is for a full kitchen in-law suite, and that is a use variance request. My understanding is the notice that went out to everybody listed 280-15, which is dimensional relief. Now, that notice does provide that what the actual relief being requested is for. So I think that covers it. It would be on us if the notice was inadequate and someone came along and said that that's an adequate notice, I didn't get proper notice. That would be on us, in my opinion, if they wanted to appeal at a later date by not appearing here.
Okay, well, I think the board is in agreement that we can certainly accept that verbal modification and explanation, and I don't think there's going to be a problem, but it's well stated that if there is, you guys will have to address it.
Yeah, we would have to address it on if someone ever decided and said they didn't receive proper notice of it. Although it says it right in the
It
application.
doesn't look like they're lining up right now, so we're.
No, I don't
You have
think
to
so.
worry about it.
You both testifying? Yes. Yes. Fine. Okay, raise your right hand, please. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And state your name one more time.
Lori, Lori, Tierney, Tierney, McCann, McCann.
Thomas J. McCann, M, small c, capital C, A-N-N.
This is Ward 5 Day. So again, this is very close to where we had previously. The application you just heard is just a little bit down the street on Sproul Road. Again, you know, this property backs up to Radnor Valley. If you look pretty much as you go out Godfrey, Notre Dame Academy is located here, and Overbrook Country Club is located here. What you'll see as we go through the photographs proposal is to construct a living space and a garage, a single story. In this area here, it's a better view when we look at it from the street view. This shed would be removed and relocated. It'd be a one-story structure in this area that would house a garage and an in-law suite. The relief is the fact they were requesting to put a full kitchen in the in-law suite. If They were not proposing a full kitchen. This would be permitted by right. You'll hear testimony as to why we are requesting a full kitchen in this location. This is very similar to a case that you heard a couple months ago at a different area of the township. Again, we're requesting an in-law suite. We're agreeing to restrict it, that it could never use for income-producing or rental property. It can only be used for in-laws, perhaps children someday, as a suite in that matter. But again, it could never be used as a income-producing property. We will agree to restrict it. The last case that we had, we actually recorded a restriction against the property that is in perpetuity and would be forever restricting any income-producing aspect of the property. Just quickly going through the photos, I mentioned A5, A4 is the area where the addition would be located. A5 just shows current site. A6 is the site plan showing the addition, and we also have elevations as well. Liz Springer actually was the engineer working on the plan as far as the plans are concerned. She's here to testify if the board has any questions regarding it. But we'll call Lori. So you're the owner of the subject premises with your husband, Tom?
Yes,
And you purchased the property in 2022?
that's correct.
And that deed is A2, showing the purchase?
Correct.
Where'd you live before then?
5 blocks on the other side of Overbrook, 740 Clyde Circle.
Okay, so how long have you been in the township?
25 or 6 years.
Who resides in this property with you?
Tom and I and my 2 children.
And you've made application for the relief under A1, as I explained?
Yes,
Okay. A3, again, the aerial view of the property, Radnor Valley in the rear, correct?
that's right.
And then about 2 blocks away is Notre Dame and Overbrook Country Club.
Correct.
A4, this shows your home, correct? It's the front view of your home.
That's right.
And you have a shed in this area.
Correct.
That shed is being relocated to another place on the property
Yes.
that will comply with zoning.
Correct.
And what you're proposing to put a structure right up your driveway here.
Correct.
And that structure will also have living space.
Correct.
Is that right? Why?
My parents, who are here, Rudolph Valentino, Rosemary Valentino, they're going to be 79 in June, and my mom and dad currently live in 2-floor living, and they can't live in 2-floor living anymore, so they need a 1-floor living arrangement. They have unique health issues, and we are trying to accommodate just a really wonderful quality of life experience for them.
Now, why do you need a full kitchen?
My dad is Italian, Rudolph Valentino, and my mom, who has no HIPAA issues, she told me I can say this, her health issues have restricted her mobility quite a bit, and between the cardiologist and the rheumatologist, they want her to maintain as much activity of daily living as she can, and part of that routine is cooking food and cleaning and all of the blissful domestic chores that she will continue to enjoy.
And Tom, just real quickly, have you spoken to the neighbor on this side here?
I've spoken to Melissa and Andy Ifey, and they have no opposition. And then on the other side is Jim McHugh and Liz McHugh, and they both have no opposition. And I actually spoke to the neighbor directly across our street, Barb Bibby, and she has no opposition either.
Thanks. Lori, we're not requesting any other relief. The only zoning relief we're requesting is on the kitchen.
Correct.
Now I'm going to show you well, let's just go to A5 first, existing conditions, right?
That's right.
A6 shows the proposed plan.
That's right.
A7 shows elevations. A8 shows the floor plan. Why don't we call Liz up? Liz, why don't you come up and give us an overview of what we're looking at here?
Yes. Elizabeth Springer, Springer.
Liz, what is your profession?
Registered professional engineer.
And you're registered in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, I'm going to show you what's been marked as A7. Did you prepare these plans?
Yes, I did.
And can you just describe, and also, if you need to, going back and forth between A7 and A8, could you describe what is being constructed here and why and how the living space is being oriented?
Sure, these plans were prepared for the purpose of creating a space planning for the zoning proposal. They have not been fully inside developed by the appropriate people, but they're ready for this type of review. The purpose is to create what you see as you're coming. As you notice when you look from the driveway, the land slopes down quite a bit. So you're really not going, it's not up on a hill, it's the land slopes away, so you're not going to see very much of this from the street. And in fact, it'll look from the street much like a garage with a side entry door. Most of the house is situated toward the back part of the yard. It's facing the golf club. And so that's kind of more like the front. So it's kind of trying to push itself back behind the garage. So what you're looking at the end of the driveway really just looks like a garage with a man door. And inside we have the ability to house two people, and if for some time they might need daytime care, there's the ability to have them in different rooms while still providing comfort to move around the space with what we would consider not ADA necessarily compliant, but ADA comfortable, where you're trying to give the ability for a wheelchair to move around the space. You're trying to create bathroom spaces that allow for implementation to be used in care. And so we have 2 bedrooms. We have a mudroom entry space. We obviously cannot have a garage entering into a bedroom, so we have a little place that you can take off your shoes when you come in, sit down. You have a laundry room so they can stay very self-sufficient as possible while living there, but should someone need to come in, they don't have to go back and forth to the main house to cook and prepare food for them or even boil hot water, so they are able to care for themselves or have someone come in during the day to help them out when necessary.
1 story?
Yes, trying to stay within the roof line limitations of the zoning code.
And 2 bedrooms. Why 2 bedrooms?
So that they can remain separate when not feeling well, ill, or needing care.
I think that was requested, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Looking, and it's a 2-car garage.
Yes, one for the family, one for them, however they need to handle it at the time, giving some flexibility. They do not have a place that they could park, their in-laws could park a car except in their house, and that's not very feasible.
Anything else for Liz? We can always call her back if you have. further-
Why two bathrooms? It looks like 2 full bathrooms.
Yes, just for different care, being able to address people's needs in different stages of life, different genders, different situations. Also, if you do have care coming into the day, they could, you can see that 1 bathroom opens to the mudroom. So if a guest is coming over, a family member or a caretaker, they can use a bathroom, and maybe you can have one that's for the husband and wife, and the other is for the guests, again, for privacy. It's giving flexibility and care, but also ability for people to come and visit.
Lori?
Yeah. Thanks, Liz.
I've marked as A9, the restriction very similar to what was filed last time on a similar case. Your understanding is if this is granted, a deed restriction would be recorded against the house, against the property?
Absolutely.
And that deed restriction would provide that you can never use this unit for rental or income-producing property?
Completely.
It only could be used for family or friends visiting?
Correct.
And that restriction would be perpetual?
Yep, evergreen.
And it would run with the land, correct? It
Pardon?
would run with the land, meaning it's part of
Yes.
the land, part of the property?
Yep.
And it's binding on future owners?
Correct.
I have handed up also or I haven't handed up yet, but I did make a copy of A10, and that was the former relief granted a couple months ago. I believe that was on Hares Lane, you may recall, and that was October 29th. There was another reason requested for relief in that matter, but the board did not grant relief based on that.
Thank you. This is a deed restriction that, oh, I'm sorry, this is just the board decision. Okay, thank you. And that was, you worked that out with the township solicitor as well, right, the deed restriction?
We need an extra. Yeah. Thanks.
That's all I would have. Just request that the exhibits be made part of the record, please.
Without objection.
Nick, I do have one clarifying question for you. So just regarding the application, it's stating that the deed restriction would be for relatives, friends, and occasional guests. So I was just looking in this could always be tightened up, of course, but regarding the actual CC&Rs, the covenants and restrictions, it states just for rental purposes only. So I'm just saying, there's a slight discrepancy regarding rental versus blood-related relatives.
Yeah, we would have obviously no issue with with further limiting it. So we could limit it to no rental and only for family, friends.
How do you define friends? That's the one.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't quite.
It's guess. It'd be guess, I think. We're not, I don't think, it would never be intended for a friend to live there. And maybe that's how we can tighten up some of the language also. It would be if someone was spending an overnight weekend or something of that nature or visiting. It would only be for visitors. It wouldn't be a permanent type residence.
I agree with Zach. I do think that needs to be tightened up because friends is,
is loose. And also given, it may not be the situation here, but given that these run with the land and for future owners, potential future owners, that's what I'm really thinking of.
I totally agree that, I think temporary visitors, would probably be an appropriate language to put in there. And then, of course, possible family, and just family and temporary visitors or guests. Or temporary guests, actually, should be, not even visitors, temporary guests. Because you could see Overbrook having a PGA tournament, and
that's the first thought that came in my mind.
Right,
This
yeah.
could be a real income producer if they got a
You're going to be
PGA.
covering good parking spaces that you could rent.
See that happening at Overbrook?
no, I don't.
One of us cares about golf.
Yeah.
One of us does not.
And actually, they're Overbrook members. So.
I heard one of the guys at Overbrook today saying that they rented their house to Spawn.
Yeah, JJ Spall, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But they were making, I know the people over in Aronimink were making buco.
Yes. Nick, I'd like to focus on why is a full kitchen needed? Because the restriction just says you can't have the range, for example. And given the technology and the available tools, air fryers and these fancy ovens, combo countertop ovens, I have found that it's not a burden to not have the full kitchen. And I live in this situation.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. My parents are going to be 79, and my mom's.
I'm 79 already.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, me too.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I know what you're talking about.
They've got a means and ways by which they do things. I'm the middle of 5 kids, and my mom's 4'10", so we do everything that is conducive to her physically being able. Like, she doesn't grill because she can't do that, but she can definitely put a filet roast in the oven. She can definitely boil her water for pasta. She can do her prep work and create the meals that she wants to create, only ever having lived in kitchens that are, it's not going to be my kitchen, but it'll clearly be small, but it'll accommodate all of her needs.
Now, there's, maybe this comes up when a building permit has to be completed, but there's 2 extra bathrooms in here. And does that in any way impact getting a building permit to put them in? I mean, it's two bathrooms, two showers, it looks like.
You know what it could impact, and what I don't know the answer to, is sewer modules.
Yes.
There's no limitation.
On bathrooms, or,
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking,
It
but that's
has
just,
to be approved,
Yeah.
but there's no
Yeah.
limitation.
yeah, I was just wondering on sewer if it has any, well, it's going to increase your bill, but.
Right. Well, that's based on water use
Right.
anyway.
but you'd have to conform with that anyway, regardless of what happens.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, they don't present a zoning issue, correct?
You moved your exhibits in. Any other board questions? No. Public comment? I don't see any public comment, so I'll call for a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve appeal number 3265 for the applicant seeking a variance from section 280-15 of the code to permit a full kitchen in an in-law suite, conditioned upon the applicant filing and recording a deed restriction for this property to not be used to produce income and for related relatives and family members,
And to be approved by the township solicitor.
and to be approved by the township solicitor.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Call the vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Before voting, do we want to, a brief board discussion, do we want to clarify whether it would be, have the ability for limited guests? Because I know that was discussed by the applicant, but I don't think that was in your motion, if we wanted to clarify that.
I think that during the board discussion, it was that the generic guests were not included. It was to be family members, temporary visitors, that sort of thing.
So other than, we can draft it, my understanding was based on the testimony, Ms. Keneally, correct me if I'm wrong, we could draft the order, the board's order, and obviously the deed restriction as well, to reflect the fact that other than relative family members, for guests or friends, however that may be defined, those types of people residing there would only be on a temporary basis.
Okay, I just want to make sure
right,
that whether that
right.
needed to be in the motion or
But
not.
obviously, these relatives, for example, would be there permanently.
Yeah.
But guests and friends would not be on a permanent basis. They would simply be visiting or are temporary residents.
Okay, now that we've clarified that, I'm in favor of the motion.
Okay, so the motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for your
So
time
I
this
just
evening.
learned that, lady and gentlemen, this is all volunteer, like based on your expertise, that you guys do this for the township? Is that right?
Well, I don't know if the expertise part.
I just wanted to say thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oops.
Yeah, yeah, I meant when you were outside. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.